Are the cost of groceries still going up in your area? They are in mine. What am I doing to beat this higher cost of groceries? I'm watching the ads for my local grocery department and only purchasing items on sale. And today we're going to see if we can make a cheap but tasty meal. Hi, I'm Tina. Welcome back to my channel, The Girl in the Garden. Sometimes I'm in the kitchen. So today I'm going to make a chicken and stuffing bake. I think I remember where I seen this recipe, so I'll try and link it below. And so what we have here is we have chicken thighs that I got on sale. So these thighs come out to 84 cents, 83 cents per thigh. I forgot one thing here. I forgot the stuffing. I have this bag of stuffing that I got for 50 cents on a clearance aisle. The recipe also calls for bone broth, which I had to take out of the freezer to let it start defrosting. That was free. I made it from chicken bones I had left over from probably a rotisserie chicken or something we did here at home with chicken. Calls for a cup of celery and a cup of onions. My onions didn't cost me anything because I grew them, but I think at the store now you can get yellow onions for 99 cents a pound. The celery I bought for a different recipe, and it was 2 bunches for $4. So one bunch was $2. I've now used it for 2 different recipes. I'll probably dehydrate the rest and use the celery powder and things because I like the flavor, but not necessarily the texture. Excuse me. All right, so the first thing I got to do is melt 4 tablespoons of butter and get my vegetables sauteing. Then I'm going to add, I think it's 2.5 cups of chicken broth. Bring to a boil. Fold this in. Set it aside. Then I'm going to marinate this in, I forget, I think it's butter and mustard powder. So anyway, let me get started. All right, I realized I hadn't prepped some things, and so I was like taking off a little too fast. Okay, 4 tablespoons of butter, our cup of onions and celery. Almost ready to add the chicken broth and bring it to a boil. Okay, so while we wait for our chicken broth and veggies to come up to a boil, I have taken 4 tablespoons of butter, and I think the recipe called for herbes de Provence, but I didn't have any. I'm out. So I used Italian seasoning and some paprika because I like those flavors. So anyway, I melted the butter. I put in the seasonings. Oh, and a teaspoon of mustard powder. Mix it all up, and now I've just kind of rotated the chicken in there. Next, I'm going to get my 9x13 baking pan greased up so we can go on to the next step. All right, time to drop in our stuffing mix and then cover it and take it off the heat. Let it cool while we get a couple more things assembled. Okay, our chicken is still marinating. Our stuffing has to sit for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add some mixed vegetables and corn. I forget what the recipe called for, but it was something I didn't like, so I just grabbed what frozen vegetables I had that I need to get used. And these probably were about $1.99. I usually don't buy the frozen vegetables unless they're under $3, so but I can't guarantee that. Again, I just look for things that are on sale, and I've had these for a while, so I'm not quite sure because it was before I started tracking how much I was spending on things. All right, I'll be back. All right, here's our stuffing with our frozen vegetables, not defrosted or cooked separately, but frozen right into our hot stuffing. And what I did not realize until I started mixing this is this was cornbread stuffing, not the regular stuffing. I have never had cornbread stuffing before in my life, so we'll see if I like this. All right, now I'm going to arrange the chicken thighs on top. All right, we've got our chicken thighs on top of our stuffing. I'm going to put it in a 375 oven for 45 minutes to an hour. And then we're going to see how this tastes, and we're going to go back over what the costs were. I'll see if I can find something that tells me what I paid for the frozen vegetables. I don't remember, like I said. All right, I'll see you soon. And here's our finished product right out of the oven. I baked it at 45 minutes, and then I turned the broiler on for about 2 or 3 just to get some goldenness on the top. Let's let it cool, and then it's taste test time. All right, it is time for the taste test. And real quick, before we want to do that, I want to go over what this meal cost me. Chicken thighs, 83 cents a piece, comes out to $3.32 for the entire dish. So it has at least 4 servings. The stuffing was 50 cents. Chicken broth was free. Celery, I estimated about 60 cents, and I did estimate a little bit more probably than what it could be. Onions, if you have them, you're not going to spend money on them. Butter, the butter that I used came out to 50 cents per cube, and I used a whole cube, so 50 cents. I add the herbs. The veggies, I'm going to guess about 50 cents. I probably should have made it $1 because I used 2 different kinds, but I didn't. Sorry. So we would have to add, I guess, a little bit more for the overall cost. I don't do food math well, but with that, this whole meal that has at least 4 servings cost me $5.42. It took me a little over 30 minutes to put together. And now we're going to taste it. Well, as you can see, we took more than just one bite. We both like it. The stuffing, like I said, it was cornbread. I've never had it. I like a drier cornbread. My son was fine with it, but I would still eat this. The chicken is good and moist. I would probably do more marinade, maybe marinate a little bit longer. I thought there was a fly, but it's seasoning. So anyway, I'm going to try to find my video on making bone broth. I did use beef bones in it, but you can do the same thing with chicken bones to make chicken broth. And I think that's it. I think we're just going to sit down and have a great meal and enjoy it. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you're not subscribed, please take a minute to do that to make sure you don't miss any of my future videos. Comment below and say hi. Share with your friends and family that you think would be interested in something like this. And again, I will see where I found the recipe at, and I will link it somewhere. If it doesn't pop up within the video, I will put it in the description box below. And I will also tell you what I did differently than the recipe. All right? Well, thanks a lot, folks. It was great to hang out with you today. I'll see you next time. I'm Tina, the girl in the garden. Bye for now.